Hi, I'm Plinio Guzman. As part of a research and storytelling grant funded by National Geographic, I'm studying hydrological patterns in Cuatro Ciénegas Basin using satellite imagery. Why? Because this basin isn't just another wetland, it's a biological treasure trove. You see, Cuatro Ciénegas has the highest level of endemism in North America. It has over 70 species that are found nowhere else on Earth. These organisms, they've adapted to extreme conditions, making them a living time capsule of evolution. Microbes here have thrived in conditions similar to ancient Earth and possibly even Mars. Studying them provides key insights into how life evolved and adapted to extreme environments. Water is the lifeblood of this ecosystem. But here's the catch. This rare ecosystem depends entirely on its hydrology. If the water disappears, so does everything else. The degradation of Cuatro Ciénegas is happening faster than ever before, and if we don't act now, we could lose this ecosystem forever. So what's causing the water abatement? To start, there's massive water extraction. In the 1880s, canalization projects began to divert water out of the basins, and today, canals like Saca Salada and Santa Tecla drain over 90% of the basin's surface water. That's about 1,500 liters per second toward the city of Monclova and other urban establishments nearby. There's also overexploitation of groundwater. Alfalfa crops have intensified water depletion over the last decade. Deep wells are drilled both inside and outside the basin, which accelerate extraction beyond what the system can realistically sustain. A tragic example is the Churince wetland system, once a thriving habitat for endemic turtles and fish. Today, decades of water diversion and overuse left it completely dry. This is a warning sign of what could happen to the rest of the basin. This map shows the evolution of the Churince wetlands from the 1980s to today. As part of this project, I want to map water disappearance from space. Measuring the past helps us understand the consequences of our past economic and social choices, and it contributes to a more informed management decisions. This is where technology steps in. Since we don't have long-term ground measurements of the water table, we turn to historical satellite data to reconstruct the history of water loss. As part of this project, I'm creating a workflow using Sentinel-2 satellite imagery to track changes in surface water. I use the Fuse platform to apply computer vision segmentation techniques on dozens of images from Planetary Computer. Here's how it works. The first step is to load dozens of satellite images from Sentinel-2 across a specific time range and filter out clouds and noise. Step 2. Measure water presence using Venn algebra to calculate NDWI. We calculate the normalized difference water index, NDWI, which highlights water bodies by measuring the difference between green and near-infrared wavelengths. Step 3. We segment water versus land. We then apply a thresholding technique to classify pixels as water or non-water. This creates a binary water mask. Step 4. We will then map long-term water changes. By aggregating results over time, we'll be able to distinguish between permanent water bodies, seasonal variations, and permanently lost sources. The goal of this project is to present evidence that demonstrates how water loss has been accelerating over the last decade. And unless we take action, entire ecosystems could vanish. The fight to save Cuatro Ciénegas is not over, but time is running out. What can be done? Let's look at legal protection. In 1994, Cuatro Ciénegas was designated a protected natural area. In 1995, it was recognized as a wetland of international importance on the Ramsar Convention. There's also scientific research and awareness. Research like this is essential to understand what's happening, communicate science to locals and stakeholders, and advocate for better water management policies. What still needs to happen? We need stronger legal enforcement. Many conservation laws exist, but enforcement remains weak. Unregulated water extraction must be stopped before irreversible damage occurs. Local and federal authorities need to implement water-saving agricultural techniques and explore alternative irrigation methods to reduce pressure on the ecosystem. To this end, this project aims to produce tangible evidence of the hydrological pressure that the ecosystem has seen over the last decades. So, you guessed it, we'll make a couple maps. Putting this into context, we can ask ourselves, why does Cuatro Ciénegas matter so much to the rest of the world? Cuatro Ciénegas is just one example of a basin under pressure, but its story is being repeated all over the world. From the Aral Sea to California's Central Valley, we've seen how unsustainable water use is causing entire ecosystems to collapse. The key takeaway? Water crises are predictable. By using satellite data, we can see the warning signs before it's too late. The question remains, will we listen? If we want to protect places like Cuatro Ciénegas, we need to start making data-driven decisions about water management. This project shows how combining satellite imagery, computer vision, and conservation research, we can understand where water is disappearing and, most importantly, why. If you found this interesting, tag along as the project unravels, and check out the sample workflows that you'll be able to implement for your own areas of study. Because the future of water isn't just a data engineering problem, it's a societal problem for which we need better narratives.